Does Starro need more paths? That's something that I've been kind of wondering for a while now, especially since the end of Penacony. Because while I do think that adding a new path could be cool, as terms of like a story moment and that kind of thing, I feel like the main problem with adding a new path is that I feel like all the paths we have right now kind of already fill out most of what you would want in the game. Like, let's go down the list. Preservation is like the tank slash shield path. Hunt is the big like single target damage class. Harmony is the buff path. God, I guess I pathed so much in this video. Nihility is the like sort of debuff path. Abundance is healing. Erudition is AoE damage. The kind of like outlier path, honestly, is like destruction. Because destruction is kind of all over the place. I feel like it's mainly about like using damage as a benefit, but then it also has characters like Imbabadu Lune who don't really do that at all. So I don't know, it's kind of all over the place, but it mainly destruction is like self-damage. And yeah, with all those paths, I feel like that kind of covers all of what you want. And like, I feel like if they did end up adding a new path, it would either overshadow an already existing path, depending on how good that character in the path is, obviously, or it would end up just being like too similar to a path they already have. Like, let's say they added a DPS path. Like, I feel like they can't really add a new DPS path because we already have three, being Erudition, Hunt, and Destruction. Technically, you could also count Nihility in there as well. So let's say four if you count Nihility. So if you add like a fifth one to that, I feel like that should be way too many. And then in terms of other stuff, I feel like you kind of any other mechanics that you would want that can already kind of fit into other classes. Like let's take some of the exclusive simulated universe paths as examples. Elation, you can't really make a standalone path because follow-up is already an archetype across multiple paths already. Propagation, you also can't really make a standalone path because it's mainly basic attack focus, and there already are a lot of characters that do that already. And Remembrance has kind of the other problem where it's just way too specific, I feel, to be a standalone path. For anyone that doesn't know, Remembrance is mainly about freezing and ice damage. So if they did make a standalone path, basically every character in that path would have to be ice, which just really limits design. Now this is assuming that they would make the paths work like they do in Simulated Universe, which could, not be the case. They could just make it completely different. But at the same time, I feel like it would be weird to have two different versions of the path in the game. I mean, that's not like totally out of the question, but I mean, it could. I just feel like it would be kind of weird, At least right now, I don't feel like the game needs a new path. I could see maybe like once we're through 3.0 and once you start getting to like 4.0, then maybe I could see us needing a new path. But at least right now, I don't really feel like we do. What I can see how you're doing instead of adding a new path is making characters that are multi-path. Especially with the next planet having 3 paths, I could see that be one of the main mechanics of the new planet. And some characters already kind of do this, like Ho-Ho being a healer that can buff with her ultimate, and even someone like Acheron, who kind of plays more like a Hunt character than a Nihility character. Now, I don't think it's, impossible that Hoya will add a new path. I don't work at Hoyoverse. And I, like I said before, I could see them doing it as like a big story moment for maybe like the MC or for March. But at the same time, I feel like the direction that the game is going right now, it feels like more so Hoyo was wanting to have each character fit a archetype rather than like sticking super close to the like path system. And you could say that kind of defeats the point of paths at all, but like I don't know, I feel like I'd rather just see more unique mechanics than them having to just like force themselves into paths. Now, obviously the paths don't like totally not matter because they still like, at least the characters we have right now, they still do fit into the paths that they are. But what I mainly mean is that I feel like as the game is going to go more and more, I feel like the path is going to start becoming not as important, and it's going to be more like what the actual archetype the character fits into is going to be more important. Whether they add a new path or not, all I really want is just more unique mechanics. Because while I do think that adding a new path could be cool, I just don't really see it happening anytime soon, at least. But I really just want something new, Because I am kind of getting a little bit tired of Follow Up and Break, even though I do like those archetypes, to be clear. Because besides, like, Acheron and Black Swan, really basically every character has been either Break or Follow Up. So I really do hope that in 3.0 they give us something new, because I feel like if we just keep getting those two archetypes into 3.0, then I feel like I'm going to really kind of get sick of it. But yeah, anyway, I don't think Starl needs a new path right now. I do think it would be cool. I'm not saying that it's impossible that it could happen, but I just really don't see it right now. Especially with, games like Genshin not even having a new weapon type after all these years. I feel like Hoyo is mainly just going to work with what they have rather than forcing a whole new thing into the game, Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.